at this point.
Yeah, you know what like really disrupts me? The bottom of this Mad Hatter mug that I'm drinking out of is
Are you
lopsided.
mad are you mad as a hatter?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah.
But it also says drink me.
Yeah, but are you as mad as a hatter? I have to know this.
That cup makes me it pains me on the inside. If I'm being completely honest with you.
Why is it paying you on the inside?
How serious you were when you said you were drinking out of a Mad Hatter cup. So in the dark, it just looked like a cup.
So,
yeah, I mean,
well,
that's kind of how hats work, right? They look like cups on top hats look like cups on like a
little plate. Yeah,
I never really thought of it, but I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway,
all right.
Welcome to Boyz Night, everyone. Now that we got that very important tidbit out of the way.
I'm also tired of people sneezing and saying
he's trying to introduce the fucking show.
Is what you say.
Yeah, this is a show, everyone. We talk about random things.
This is a
just
show
like
where
in the moment
insane.
kind of things happening in this small room. What will you do next, Dillon? Will you take a sip out of this cup? Who knows what's in it? Okay,
I am really tired of people saying "bless you." Yeah. I was talking to Nick about this earlier. I feel like it's kind of disrespectful.
I had a fucking feeling
to
this would happen.
sneeze and blow
God.
your germs all over the place, and then give me a task. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, well, would you prefer if someone just say go fuck yourself every time you sneeze?
Yeah,
or shut the fuck up is one of them.
Wait, are they saying it or am I saying it?
No, they're saying it.
So they're sneezing and then saying it?
No. You're sneezing and then they say it, or they sneeze and then you say it.
You don't say bless you to yourself when you sneeze, do you?
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
Okay.
Am I losing my mind? All right, everyone, we're talking about Bad Boys 2 tonight with
we're talking about Boyz Night. We're talking about our own podcast.
Yeah. Oh God.
You want to say hello again? I talked.
Hello.
Yeah. I'm sure the mic picked it up, but yeah, we'll just have her awkwardly say hello twice.
Hello.
Three times. Third time's a charm. Third
time's
a fucking charm.
Fourth time? I can do it a fourth time.
No,
if you say it just once more, I will walk off the set.
Okay.
So we're talking about Boyz Night. Boyz Night. I
did it. Fuck you. We're talking about Bad Boys 2, motherfuckers.
Bad Boys 2.
Yeah. See, 2 weeks ago we talked about Big Mama's House with Martin Lawrence, and then last week we talked about Hitch with Will Smith, and it seemed appropriate that this week we talk about Bad Boys 2.
With the new one coming out so soon, I think.
Yeah, I don't know when it's coming out, but presumably pretty soon.
Probably this year.
It's probably coming out as a holiday movie.
I don't care. And based off this movie, I don't care.
Aw, Longy.
This is a podcast where we only talk about early 2000s movies. In case you're wondering why we're talking about the second Bad Boys and not the
Bad
first.
Boys 1 came out in 1995 and this one came out in 2003, and this movie was too long.
Also,
Too bad we can't review
interesting
Troll
little
2.
fact. Hey, what?
Too bad we can't review Troll 2. That's another sequel.
Troll
2.
We'll make a separate podcast.
Are you
so we talk
fucking
about 80s movies.
You know what? Let's make a separate podcast where we have Sara interrupt the fuck out of us. How about that?
Sara interrupts people. The podcast.
Interesting little fact.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sara Night. That's what you should start off after we already started talking.
Let's talk about Boyz Night.
Yeah, okay.
Boyz Night?
I'd like to continue doing that.
So what's the movie again? Boyz Night 2?
Yeah.
Our podcast where we have Sara interrupt us? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the only person that's seen the first Bad Boys at this table, and I will not talk about it because there's no point.
Yeah, does it really matter in the context of the story?
They're very different movies. They're both made by Michael Bay, and this is the first. The first Michael Bay movie was Bad Boys, and then this is the sequel. And,
very highly anticipated.
It came out after. What was it? It came out after Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, this is everything that Michael Bay is in one movie. I think you guys could agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about it the whole time. I was like, yeah, it only took him a couple of years, and it just went right into just the Michael Bay we know today, which is just explosions.
Lots of titty shots.
Yeah, just excessive.
Cam,
an excessive amount of dead titty shots.
Yeah, like a necrophilia amount of dead titties.
Yeah, dead breasts. That was
dead titties.
Really messed me up. I didn't like that at all.
No, okay.
But, and you can't forget the explosions. I think that's the.
Did I mention explosions?
Didn't mention explosions.
Shit.
I want him to direct a Disney movie. You know what I mean, like Cinderella or something like that. Something that isn't explosions, and him just directing it. Because I want to see how he would do.
I just kind of want you to shut your mouth.
Dude.
When you say stuff like that, it angers me. At early hours in the morning.
The Michael Bay directed Cinderella.
Long before Nick takes Sarah's head off.
Yeah.
You should probably just explain the plot.
If you can, because I didn't pay attention.
The plot.
The plot.
Well, now that you mention it, despite it being like 2.5 hours, the plot is so simple. It's just like two cops trying to bust like this huge
like Pablo
Cuban
Escobar like level drug
Johnny
Tacky or something.
Johnny Tilapia.
Tilapia. It was something stupid.
It wasn't tilapia. No, I was trying to keep myself from saying tilapia.
I'll have you know.
I was trying to keep myself from saying
Don't
tilapia.
slam the table.
Oh yes, tilapia. That's what it is. No,
Oh my god.
They're just trying to bust, tilapia head. Like they're like trying to bust like a huge thing of ecstasy that he has, and like a hostage situation later. But that's it. That's the plot. That's the whole movie, and
that took 2.5 hours.
It took 2.5 hours.
It took too long. Is what happened.
There
so many people died.
A lot
thousands
of car chases too.
Well, they took a few detours so they could harass a kid that's just trying to go on a date,
and just recklessness and
hold like a loaded gun at him.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't forget busting up the Jamaican's house.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the pool.
Wait,
the pool. They had to bust the pool twice because, Michael Bay likes that running joke of a pool being destroyed.
Michael Bay likes that joke of a pool being next to a lake, and somehow that's economically
it's funny.
It's
funny.
And destroying that pool.
I really think he just in his head he was just like, it's funny because it's like chlorine whatever water mixing. I can speak tonight. It's chlorine water mixing with like salt water from the ocean just coming out. Was that funny to him? Like just that happening twice? It happens at the beginning of the movie and at the very end of this movie. That same joke. The pool just coming apart. For no reason.
Because the reason is the dog was chained to it and it ran away.
It wasn't even chained to it this time.
You have any details about the plot?
The details about it? Oh boy, I mean...
If you can remember them.
I mean, like...
I got a good one. Why don't you just tell us what you thought of the opening scene with the KKK?
Okay, so the opening scene is, I think it sets the tone for like the whole movie of just it being like everything is just overblown, shaky camera, people dying left and right, explosions, fire, death, carnage, property damage, and no repercussions for the two people that are always in harm's way and should have repercussions but don't because they're police officers. They are the law, and thank God that they are. So,
you're making them sound like they're both Judge Dredd.
Yeah, they basically are.
They're terrible. They're terrible is what they are. I was not rooting for them at the end of the movie.
I think that if you watch that opening scene, you could really... I'm sure this has been said before. In fact, I'm 99% sure this has been said before, but I think if you look at the opening scene of Bad Boyz II, you can see in all of its glory how Michael Bay makes a film. You got these insane, shots from overhead, all these muscled out men.
Telephoto shots.
The undershots, too.
Yeah, that was afterwards.
Oh,
the intent, but those are worth mentioning, all the upskirt shots. There's this
That's what they are,
intense
though.
lighting.
Yeah.
And just slow motion violence that just everything about the opening is so like unnecessary, and it's I guess it's a cool idea. These two black police officers invading a Klan rally, but it doesn't really make any sense. That's what Michael Bay is. Yeah. Oh, dude, wouldn't that be cool? Doesn't really make any sense, but wouldn't that be cool? And then
that's a cool idea. I'm gonna do that.
Guys, I just had a dream last night. Let's put it in my movie.
Where Will Smith busts out, like he was wearing like a KKK uniform. He busts out with 2 pistols and like he starts pointing it at everyone, and he's in the middle of everyone,
he's
like over there.
Waving it around. He shoots his partner. It's so
shoots
reckless.
A lot of people.
Yeah. But the most important part is that he shoots Martin Lawrence in the ass.
I mean, he goes
That's
in with...
a big plot point, by the way.
Here's another thing. He went in with the SWAT team. I don't know why him and Martin Lawrence were like in the middle of there when they didn't have to be.
Well, because it had to be, cool for them to do like.
Talking about the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, the beginning. Yeah. Like they could have both died for no reason.
Well, no, it was.
But in the end, wasn't it not worth it or something? They get like 2 bags of drugs.
They get 2 bags. 2 bads. 2
bads.
2 bad boys. They get 2 bags of X, which is ecstasy, apparently.
That bothers you a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It's such a stupid nickname for a drug. X. What are we in, like a spy, James Bond movie from the 1950s or something?
Was it only me? Because I just, like, every time they said it, and they said it with this weird tone.
Yeah.
I kept thinking of the beginning of Powerpuff Girls. Like, chemical X, and he mixed it with the meh.
Maybe that's what they were stealing.
Yeah, they were stealing chemical X.
They were trying to, like, make Powerpuff Girls. Not on my watch.
to escort their drugs.
Do you know how much damage Tilapia Head could do with 3 Powerpuff Girls?
You know what I want now? Michael Bay directing a Powerpuff Girls movie.
Shut up! That's never gonna happen.
Insane.
That would be super intense.
And do you know how much of this X that he had? He can make more than 3. Hundreds of
Powerpuff Girl army of adorableness.
So
and death.
Then we get
what Sara just said.
Yeah. Then we get a bunch of upskirt shots, dude. We get a bunch of upskirt shots and
my favorite.
Yeah, at a nightclub. But...
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so many titties.
Yeah. This movie is so disgusting. Just on a general principle, this movie is so... It has, like, no morals.
Yeah. Can't forget.
Everyone is terrible. Everything that they do is terrible. And they're stupid.
It's super macho,
it's weirdly racist.
Yeah, I was saying that, like, several times.
I'm not somebody to jump into that, especially on a movie where the 2 main characters are black, but... This movie is very racist.
It really is. It was written by probably like 2 white guys.
No, I think we actually looked that up during the movie and confirmed that was the case.
Yeah, no, it was written by 2 white guys and directed by a white guy.
I don't know if anyone saw it on Luke's face because there's parts in these movies where it's Martin Lawrence and Will Smith's character, and then there's these 2 other there's this other like cop partner duo, but they're like Latino. And they're like just throwing like that's what I'm saying. It's like oddly racist. Then they have those 2 sets of characters throwing like racist remarks to each other. Lung was losing his mind. There's the one joke where like the 2 Spanish cops walk up and they're making like a grape soda joke or something like that.
We had some crispy and like some grape soda for you guys. Like
you almost lost your mind.
I'm like looking at your face right now. It's the pure disgust.
It's like. You know the scene where they're threatening the kid that we mentioned before?
Oh, yeah.
So Martin Lawrence... Let me set up the scene. So Martin Lawrence is the family man as opposed to Will Smith's, like, player character.
Yeah.
And what... His daughter has a date coming to the house. This guy that Martin Lawrence has never met before.
Yeah.
So Martin Lawrence decides that when the kid shows up, because, he's the dad, he's gonna harass the kid, right? Mm-hmm. So, and Will Smith has just arrived at the house too, right? So he's like in the background, and Martin Lawrence opens the door, and the kid's like, "Yeah, I'm here to, take whatever his daughter's name was
Megan.
out. Yeah, I'm here to take Megan out." And Martin Lawrence is like, "Oh, you are, right?" And he just starts ripping into this kid. Like everything about this kid, he just starts ripping into it. And then Will Smith shows up. And
he was in the background.
Yeah. And the ethnic stereotypes are dialed up here to way past a 10. Way past a 10. And I'm just thinking to myself throughout this scene as I'm watching what's happening here. I mean, he like greets the kid with the N-word, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he and 2 white guys wrote that. And then a white guy directed that, and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence and that kid, who was also black, everyone in that scene is black, and all of them were just okay with what was happening.
With what they were written and told to do.
Did anyone roll their eyes? Did anything?
Did anyone just say like,
I'm getting a fat paycheck at the end of this. I'll say whatever the hell you want me to.
Yeah, for real, man. Maybe they just had fun. I mean, who am I to say anything? But maybe they just had fun.
Yeah, maybe Martin Lawrence was getting his paycheck for the next Big Mama's house. Who knows?
Yeah, you want to talk about the erection stuff?
Oh yeah, of course. Who could forget the erection side?
Start from the beginning of the whole thing and talk about the porn on the TV screens and all the whole saga.
Okay.
Oh my god!
It's not even that important.
Sarah, you want to talk about it?
Should I talk about it?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Go ahead and talk.
You know what? Let's hear from a female perspective.
Yeah.
All right, so
this erection problem.
I guess in the beginning of this film, like I mentioned, he got shot, and Martin Lawrence got shot in the ass, and that caused some nerve damage. Who shot him? By Will Smith, of course, when he was recklessly shooting up.
In this weird slow-mo shot, by the way.
Yeah.
Recklessly shooting up the.
Well, to be fair, the bullet went through 3 different people, and Martin Lawrence happened to be one of them.
No, it went through bottles, and then Martin Lawrence's
and
ass.
then the guy's neck. Right? Yeah, that's
you got it.
Okay. And then later on he's suffering from nerve damage, so he's limping, and I think his wife mentions that he can't get hard or
he's
something.
Limping all right.
Yeah, he's he's got some nerve damage, and he gets really defensive about it the entire movie. Mm-hmm. So they're in a video store collecting evidence for, I guess, are they the drug lords?
Yeah. No. They filmed. Yeah, it was something they had a video camera. Because they shot up this Jamaican's house or whatever.
Haitian.
No, I think it was. We're missing
movie we're describing. Yeah, so they got a video of them shooting up this Jamaican guy's house.
No, that's what it was. They killed his brother and everything.
We didn't explain who these Jamaican guys are, but
they're the drug lords.
But this movie's all over the. You can't talk about this movie
for kids, man.
No, this movie is you can't talk about it like it's you're going down a straight line. It's going on the most insane roller coaster.
And it's shot for shot, different angles. So
editing is so fast paced and it gives you fucking nausea.
You're confused by the end of it.
Yeah.
So they're in the video store, they're watching the video, and then it cuts to a scene where I guess there's porn on the tape. So there's porn through the loudspeakers, and it triggers something
with surround sound.
Yeah,
too.
It triggers something in him to tell him all about his erection problems to Will Smith. And Will Smith, rather than being a compassionate friend and partner, just says, "I don't want to hear it."
He goes into this whole thing about boundaries.
Yeah, and he says you're not allowed to talk about that. You can't say flaccid in front of me, etc., etc. And we're just thinking dude, you're the one that caused him that problem.
Dude.
He is the cause and the problem.
Dude, never say flaccid in front of Will Smith. He will be triggered.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, long story short.
Is that ever resolved?
He gets hard at the end.
No, dude, don't you remember? No.
Nick and Lung were paying the most attention.
No, we're paying the most attention because if I didn't,
there are so many other aspects of it.
Because he's I gotta call my wife. I'm coming to go see her.
Well, that's when he was high on the ecstasy in the Chief's house.
But he gets hard.
No, remember? Because they were no. The funniest part of this whole fucking movie is they have evidence of the drug lord's possession of how he's transporting drugs, or I'm sorry, X, and they have it on video recording. But somehow Martin Lawrence accidentally ingests 2 pills of ecstasy.
Because you can't have these kind of movies that
he somehow didn't feel that going down his gullet when he was drinking a glass of water or something, and then they go to the Chief's house to show them the evidence that they collected, and he's just high as shit on this fucking ecstasy. He's showing his nipples to Will Smith, trying to act like the statue in the Chief's house. He pretends to call the other the Spanish duo. He pretends to call him he says something yeah, you want this dick or something like that. Or it was something like that. It was it was funny. It was initially set up by that, and then later they're oh yeah, he's on X. We got to put him down or something, or calm him down. And then they throw him in the shower with cold water. He gets out and he's oh my god, I have an erection. Call my wife. And that's a thing that happens in this movie.
Yeah, that's an actual scene.
You know, this movie...
I just screamed about that.
This movie and the first one really bring out a different side of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence that you don't get to... You're not treated to.
Also, there was that Russian dude, too.
Yeah.
We'll get to the Russian guy.
We'll get to the Russian guy. But, you know, like we saw Big Mama's House, where Martin Lawrence is also a cop. Did I mention we saw Big Mama's House?
Yeah,
I don't know
Big
if I
Mama's
mentioned
House.
that 8 times yet.
Yeah.
But...
It's okay, we're all delirious.
He's not... No, I'm just saying that because I'm so shocked that we saw that.
That we saw Big Mama's House?
Yeah.
We'll be watching the sequel at some point in time.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, he's a cop in that, and he's a cop in this.
Yeah.
But he just has this energy.
Yeah.
That I'm sure only Michael Bay can pull out of Martin Lawrence, and Will Smith too. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence give off these like family-friendly vibes, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying before. Like, yeah, every conversation they have seems like they could be in like a family-friendly movie. But then, like, every action scene reminds you that it's a Michael Bay film, and he doesn't give a singular fuck about what he puts on the screen. Yeah, there are dead bodies falling out of the back of the truck, and they're being run over.
That was
it's so warped and dark.
There was a scene where the villain of the movie cuts up the other, like, was he a Russian mobster?
No, yeah, he was the Russian guy's friend.
And he puts him in a bucket. Like, his body parts are all there in the blood.
That's like a traditional mobster movie.
Yeah.
It's so
graphic.
Yeah.
It's funny is, like, the Russian guy was like, I see this shit all the time back in my country. Thinking, bother me with this.
I'm sure he does.
Yep.
Didn't that guy... Yeah, that's,
in Russia,
that's
you just
Peter
see that
Stormare. He played a Russian gangster in John Wick.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The original John Wick. I still need to see that one. I've seen 2 and 3.
I'm talking about.
You saw 2 and 3 without seeing the first John Wick.
Yeah, well, that's because the third one was coming out, so I wanted to see 2 because it was really like well received.
You couldn't find a second to watch the first John Wick.
I was really sick with tonsillitis at the time. I was sleeping.
You should have had more time to watch John Wick.
I was not even conscious.
I'm sorry. Why are we talking about Sarah's weird medical problems in John Wick?
Okay.
Welcome to Sarah's Medical Issues, the podcast. Would you care to tell us your latest doctor visit, Sarah?
Go fuck yourself.
Okay.
Welcome to Sara MD.
Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a blast.
Man,
back to Boyz Night.
Oh my gosh, relentless.
Just like the body's falling out the back of the morgue truck in this fucking scene.
Yeah, and then they're in the morgue. They're in the morgue, and what are they doing to the bodies? Either of you want to describe what they're doing to the bodies? Why don't we have Sarah describe what they're doing to the bodies?
I just described the other thing.
So you want Long to describe it?
Long, you describe.
Fine.
Just pass on the torch.
Yeah. She doesn't want to describe the scene. I wouldn't blame her.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, gross. Like, they're just, like, reaching inside of dead bodies, like, trying to look for...
how did they get to this point?
How did they get to this point? Oh, through a lot of, like, through a hop, skip, and a jump, they, like, got to this point.
I know.
Like, well, they needed to, like, get a wire, and they needed to get, like, a warrant to, like, really, approve him, because this guy has gotten away so many times, like, by...
And he sued us!
Yeah, and he won, too. So, like, their plan is, we're gonna, like, commit a crime here in order to plant an illegal wire that we didn't have a warrant for the wire. You actually need a warrant to wire someone. You know, like, they didn't get that. I guess Michael Bay didn't realize that you
didn't
that.
Follow cop protocol at all.
It did not.
You know,
I was
I'm gonna
making a
tell
lot
you.
of sounds that implied that it didn't.
Well, yeah, this sound that I'm making here, it implies they fucking didn't know. That is not the case. You know, I have to say it's not entirely accurate as to, like, I don't even know what their job is. Are they just, like, allowed to fuck around, like, work on whatever the hell they want?
Yeah, are they detectives or what's the
deal?
Did
they
weren't
report
detectives,
to anybody during the movie, like, what they were doing?
Yeah, Joe Pantiliano.
Yeah, but like they usually go to an office, have all this paperwork, etc., etc.
They filled out no paperwork.
They filled out nothing. Nothing.
They were just like they were allowed to go around, like, not even tell anyone, just shoot Jamaican people, like, constantly.
That was
They had
insane.
no proof for what they were doing too.
The harsh lighting, the 360 shot around the house. I mean, it's beautifully shot. But the thing about Michael Bay films is they're like one of those plastic fruit bucket things or bowl things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They look nice, but you take a bite and
they're
you're
just painted. They're just painted plastic, like. They're made to look good. They aren't.
Have you taken a bite out of fake fruit?
That was another thing.
It looked really, really good, and like who would blame someone for wanting to try and take a bite of the good-looking fruit? But alas, it is made out of not plastic. It's like a foamy kind of material.
Oh my god, that's so embarrassing.
Hey, there was another scene too, at the end of the car chase with what was her name, Sid, where she's like, "What's in the car?" And she's like, "Cash. Can you tell me about it?" She's like, "I'm not allowed to." Sid is the sister of Martin Lawrence, who's also the lover of Will Smith, but they don't know about it yet because they're trying to hide it from him because Will Smith's a player.
Well, no, it's because they're in high school.
Why was that funny?
Because they're in high school, like, ooh, we can't tell anyone we're dating, guys.
That's pretty much what
they
it
were
was.
looking at a yearbook, right? At one point.
Yeah, and by the way, Will Smith looks at himself in the yearbook and he's like, kid. Like, he's looking at himself, though, like, with fucking braces and these glasses that are fucking huge.
You were explaining something, Sarah.
So there was that subplot. And like, I can't tell you about that, but why would she tell him about the cash if she can't tell him about anything else? And he's like, "Oh, I'm your brother." And that was that weird dynamic with the brother-sister thing. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. Like,
you pretty much got it down.
Yeah, so there was like that tense. He's like, at the end, he's like, "I'm telling mommy," and then walks away.
Yeah, that's right.
The dialogue is so off in this movie.
Yeah.
I was just very uncomfortable.
If you ever wanted to watch a movie where Martin Lawrence says, "I'm telling mommy," and walks off the scene, you gotta watch Bad Boyz II.
The entire time you're trying to think about how white the people that wrote this movie are.
Yeah, I don't think in his life up until that point Martin Lawrence said, "I'm telling mommy."
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when he was like 5?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think he even said it then.
I don't know.
Who the fuck
Who
says?
knows?
When
you're like really, really young, you'd say that.
Where do you think the delivery of some of these lines that are particularly like, exaggeratedly, stereotypically ethnic? Do you think they do you think that I'm trying to be very careful with this for obvious reasons?
Yeah, you racist.
How dare you?
Do you think it started do you think it was written on the script that way?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think Michael Bay told them to say it like that? Or do you think Will Smith and Martin Lawrence and whoever else was in the scene, it's really just them, decided...
Just like a whole bunch of white people around, yeah, now say the N-word.
Yeah,
Wish I could say that.
Where do you think the process began that they...
The only way for me to definitely say, yeah, it was written is to look at the copy of the script and see if it was written like the manuscript.
I have a feeling it was just like...
I wonder if I can find that online. I should have...
Maybe.
Do you I just have a feeling the whole thing was just like, all right, just be as stereotypical as possible, and they handed them the script, and they were like, all right, well, we need a paycheck.
Or maybe he said,
Will
like,
Smith
just be...
was already in. Hand me my notes.
Just be
line.
overprotective dads.
Will Smith was already
That's
in.
another, like, thing, too. And maybe they decided to go all urban on them. I don't know.
Independence Day,
You
Men
look
in Black, Enemy of the State, Ali...
Hitch. Can't forget Hitch.
No, that was later.
All right, well,
Yeah, he was in a number of really good movies.
He was a blockbuster. He's a household name blockbuster thing. You hire Will Smith, you're like, oh, your movie's gonna do well. At least
probably
at that
Michael
time.
Bay's friend, right?
Maybe he just was doing a favor.
Will Smith.
Because they already did the first film.
Probably. They probably had like a very tight connection with that too, especially like those.
Because it was his first movie.
Yeah, just like, oh, I need you guys to come back for the sequel.
I have a funny feeling that scene is just Michael Bay telling them, be overprotective dads, like I said before, and then they just did that.
Are you back on the dating thing?
Yeah. Because that was the most intense, stereotypical scene.
Yeah, no, that was the scene where I was really pulling my hair out of my head.
Yeah.
Well, the one that is the ones that aren't already falling out.
How about this? Like, what did you like about the movie?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
What I like about the movie?
Yeah, I think it's a solid question.
The cinematography was really, really good. I think the movie looked beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't argue
I like
with
the
that.
lighting. I like the rotating shots. I love I don't know. There was a number of good far back shots of settings.
I can see your point to a certain extent, but
even
like
the way that when he's talking to during the dating scene that Sara seems to want to keep bringing up.
You brought it up first.
I know. The camera is like kind of on like an upwards angle, and I don't know. I just love what Michael Bay does with making things look good. You know, his dialogue and everything is really racist and terrible. With the exception of the upskirt shots, the cinematography is very good.
But then you're forgetting like the action scenes that had like
scenes.
Except like shaky cam. It like just
you didn't like the explosions. They didn't
oh,
for you?
Yeah, because that's not what we're like referring to.
They look better than most movie explosions.
Can I just? I don't know. All the explosions in this movie. I really like. Does somebody hit like a certain point like that just grows old?
Yeah.
Like with you.
I feel that.
Am I like in general? Or
No,
like just it's especially
this.
Yeah, I just feel like it's with any of Michael's Bay's movies.
Michael's movies.
Michael's movies. No, I feel like it's in any Michael Bay movie you watch. I mean, I remember watching Transformers and they had the same amount of explosions, if not more, because there were giant fucking robots on screen. And we're looking at Transformers sometime.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like that shit would have impressed me, but I just like I can't with this fucking like. I feel like I'm sounding like an old man or something like that. I really can't have it with these like 50 explosions going off, or explosions going off like in general where it doesn't seem that there should be any explosions. There's that scene where they're driving through fucking houses, multiple houses or shacks.
Well, you can never figure out what's going on in the action scenes. I think that's the magic. That's something only Michael Bay can do.
That's the magic. That's the annoyance to me. It's like shit.
You? Well, would you guys yell in the middle of the movie that you hated the visuals, like they were bothering you?
No, it wasn't the visuals. It was the camera angles because the visuals. Because one shot would be them in the car, and then you see the truck, and then you see the other car, and then you see that, and I'm like, who's chasing who? Mm-hmm. That was my confusion. The bridge
my
scene
eyes
really
being
threw me
assaulted
off.
with a new image every
so
15 nanoseconds.
So it kept changing. That's the problem. It wasn't the visuals itself.
Yeah, you don't know where like that scene, like past like the opening scene where like they're doing the high speed chase on the bridge, and the bridge like seemingly like lasts forever, just as long as the scene like plays out.
Where were the other like passengers driving? Because it's New York, it's Miami. You know what I mean? There's gonna
How
be
many
people
civilians
there.
died in the making of this? I'd imagine like there were quite a few.
How many car crashes were there? You know, besides their car.
Why are these two assholes allowed to just drive around and like wreak havoc on society like this?
As much as people complain about police brutality, I know that's a touchy topic. That is so over the top. Imagine that in real life. If cops actually just pulled out their guns and shot everything and just blew up things.
Cops wouldn't exist anymore.
Exactly. There would be such a big reform.
Died just to get a couple drugs off the streets.
They probably killed more. What was that thing? The chief is yelling at them like, "Do you guys just wake up in the morning and decide I'm going to kill a couple fat people?
I'm going to kill 3 fat people."
3 fatties.
They're just exaggerated versions of really bad cops. I think they were terrible cops.
For your information, Nick, I'm pretty sure he said fat people and didn't shorten it to the vernacular fatties.
No, I mean,
but no, Will Smith clarified. No, they were already dead. Like when we got here, you know.
Yeah, and that made it all okay.
Like, oh, all right. The dead bodies like all across the street. It's fine. It's all good.
Lung, it's okay. They're in high school. It's fine.
It's all good. It's fine. Everything is fine.
They get a slap on the wrist and they go back to class.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, the captain basically just like slapped him on the wrist for despite causing thousands of dollars worth of damage and killing a ton of people.
How is
he does that?
Wait, you know what? You know what really surprises me?
Why is that okay?
It's not. What? Nobody's arguing that it is. I don't think even the movie argues that it is.
You know what's funny to me?
I'm not sure what this movie argues at all.
It argues explosions! Yeah. That's it.
I mean, I like a good explosion and a good car chase, but I can only do like 1 per movie. That's my limit.
Just like 1?
1 or 2.
Okay, 1 or 2. She's going to give it a little leeway.
Like Terminator's 2 chases are
Terminator's 2.
No, Terminator 2 is a great car.
Sara can't get through a sentence without us all jumping on her head.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a great chase scene with the canal.
I agree. That's one of the best chase scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one, I'm like, okay, it's cool. The second one, I'm like, all right. The third one, I'm like, okay, when is this movie gonna end? Mm-hmm. It's 2.5 hours too long. Can't they just cut a chase scene out or an explosion out?
You could cut about an hour. You could cut up like about an hour and a half out of this movie.
Yeah,
you could still be the same movie.
You could
still.
I'll go an hour. I don't think you need. I don't even know what made this movie so long.
They just needed to have kind of comedic scenes.
What was happening that made this movie so long?
They were fucking. He was like the only time he acted like another director was the fucking necrophiliac wet dream being the fucking dead titties on screen.
I hate that.
Dead center in screen, my ass.
That was like multiple times too on screen.
They held it there.
Yeah.
You know what it was? Will Smith showed it, and it was on there for a couple seconds, and then he rolled it back up. Then not 2 minutes later, we see it again because Martin Lawrence is kind of getting high on X at this point, and decides to hide with the corpse.
Ecstasy.
I'm going to call it X because that's what the movie kept calling it.
Yeah,
damn
dude,
it.
it's X. We gotta get it off the street, man. There's a ton of X. People dying from X.
Did you guys like anything about the movie?
Like the action, like that's about it.
Any acting compliments?
I'm sorry.
I love Will Smith and Martin Lawrence as actors, but they could have done a better job.
You love Martin Lawrence as an actor?
Yeah, he was entertaining.
Is he one of your favorites in the few movies that he's done?
No, he's not one of my favorites, but Will Smith is.
Sarah, can you promise me if we ever run into Martin Lawrence, like in person, that you get him to sign a copy of Big Mama's House?
I never seen Big Mama's House.
Okay, well you're gonna watch it and have him sign it anyway.
I mean, I love him in White Chicks.
Just hand him a copy of it and he'll sign it.
He was in White Chicks?
White Chick?
No, that's Marlon Wayans.
Oh my god!
Why did I think that?
Sarah! He wasn't in White Chicks! Fucking moron!
Okay, to be fair, it's 1 a.m.
This is so bad. Are we going downhill, love?
Oh, we were already headed there.
I'm sorry.
We've been going downhill since we started this shit, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, White Chicks. Let's talk about it.
Can you actually review that movie? Because it's a great movie.
I have a good one. So, I have a good question for everybody. So, in the last thing we did, Hitch, right? The little, not really Boyz Night video that we did. We were talking about how you can't really feel New York City in Hitch, right? Mm-hmm. And in certain movies like Fargo, you could really feel the environment, right? Or Goodfellas, you could really feel the environment. Can you feel LA? Did the movie feel like LA?
I thought it was Miami.
Yeah, it was Miami. Did it?
Did you? It was probably filmed in LA.
Yeah, I forgot Michael Bay's like a big Florida guy, but he's Florida man. Did you? Did it feel like Miami?
Not like you could have like you could have like filmed this in like literally any city or town. It really wouldn't have mattered.
There was a couple palm trees here and there, I guess. I don't fucking know, man.
It was pretty bright.
Dude, the editing and all this.
Florida's the sunshine state.
The sun was in the sky.
Is there anything unique about the setting that made you feel like you were in Miami?
No, it didn't feel like Miami at all.
It just felt like a Michael Bay
It just felt like it was shot. Could you fucking tell if it was shot somewhere
at one
with
point.
the editing? Did you
How many stars would you guys give Michael Bay's directing on average?
God,
if you just saw this movie. His directing.
Nothing else.
Wait, just stars. His movie or like his directing on all his movies? Because I see
just this movie, just his directing.
Oh, I'd probably give it like a 1.
A 1.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Really? 1 out of 1.
You guys are wow. You guys are like really harsh, man.
Really harsh. We all couldn't tell what was happening at points. Are you kidding me?
The thing with Michael Bay movies is that they start off strong and then they kind of fizzle out, and then by the end of the movie you're just praying it to be over.
It was just very much the case with this movie.
It didn't need to be that long.
I felt that way about like all the Transformers movies.
Like there really didn't need to be another pool joke. I can't stress that enough.
It's like, what is it, an hour of random nonsense? I don't understand where that hour went.
I timed it.
Where did the hour go?
I also don't know where the hour of my life went.
I don't know either.
I'll never get that back.
You know what's funny? Fuck you, Juan. You know what's funny? I timed it on my watch. This movie is 2.5 hours.
I thought you timed it on your spleen.
So this movie's 2.5 hours. There's almost 2.5 minutes of dead titties. You know, just the numbers match up.
I also want to point out this is nothing like the cop show on TV.
What's wrong with Michael Bay? Why do I have to see dead titties that long? Okay. God, it wasn't jarring to you? They was on that screen that long?
It was extremely jarring to me. The whole movie made me very uncomfortable.
Who was the necrophiliac on set that was into that?
Like, oh yeah, this is going in the movie. This is gonna be big, baby.
Fucking, oh yeah, dude, Michael Bay's making my dreams come true. Who was doing that?
They showed a lot of dead bodies in this movie. I'm not talking about people dying.
Oh my god.
Just dead bodies.
I'm talking about deceased corpses were everywhere.
Mutilated too.
Yeah,
dude,
everywhere.
Martin Lawrence bumps into a guy, the top of his head just falls off.
It's funny, I don't remember the cop show being like that. Didn't they hit the Bad Boys?
I don't think it was.
It wasn't.
Wasn't that just...
Are you talking about Cops, like the
show? The show that's based on, the movie that's based on, it's nothing like that.
I don't think Bad Boys is based on Cops. I think they're just singing the song. Because they reference Cops a lot. So they're the you know...
I feel like it's loosely Marcus based on Michael, the show.
You know, the two main characters are fans of Cops, which is why they're singing the theme at the beginning, but they're not... This isn't based on it, I don't think.
I say loosely.
There's no way that this has anything to do with cops.
Also, I think Michael Bay just said, all right, I want to make a movie about cops. I think that cops, in general, are fans of the show Cops. So my characters are going to be
That's actually
fans
not true.
Of Cops.
My father hated that show. I wasn't allowed to watch it growing up.
It'd be pretty jarring to see, like, you know, an on-duty police officer, like, bust out of, like, a KKK uniform and just start shooting people. It'd be very...
Get your hands on the ground!
Yeah, see, that's the other reason why I'm skeptical that it's based on Cops. Skeptical being a very lightly used word here.
This is the sequel we're talking about. The first one came out in 95. When did Cops the show come out? It was like late 90s, early 2000s.
No, they were singing it in the first one.
No, yeah. I'm saying she was saying it's based off of Cops. I'm saying the
loosely based off of Cops.
The first movie was out before Cops was a show.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Wait, how long was... Okay. You know
They're singing the theme song to Cops in the first movie.
What are we talking about?
I'm answering your question, dude.
Boyz Night 2, don't you remember?
I give up. I fucking give
up. So, I mean, we've been shitting on this movie all the time. What'd you dislike about the movie, Nick?
I think we went over the dislikes.
Oh, this was like...
Wait, did we not go into the editing? The shit...
That's part of the cinematography.
No.
The editing is terrible.
I only want to touch upon it.
In fact... The editing, this is one of those movies where I have to say that the editing and the cinematography are the reverse of each other. The visuals are fantastic, or at least enjoyable.
Yeah.
If you're me, I guess.
Subpar.
Oh my gosh.
I do like the lighting.
But the editing is so bad, it almost kills
I'm sorry, I don't agree with you at all on that
the
lighting thing, because that is fucking harsh as shit.
I know, that's
in this movie.
About it.
You really got that, like, harsh Miami sun beating down, like, right into the lens.
Liking
it made me
shit.
think of, like, plastic, which is what this movie is.
Plastic?
Yeah, the bright light.
The only time there was like a dark scene was when they were in that one Jamaican guy's house who was like tipping them off about where the drugs are being sold.
I'm gonna say the same thing that everyone who sees this movie says.
Yeah.
And that's that
it's subpar.
No, yes. But also they really this movie loves to be horrible. Every scene is terrible. Every scene is like just the worst. And every character, everyone is bad. Everyone is a bad person that has no problem being bad.
Bad Boys! What you go?
And I just, you know?
Yeah, and like at
really,
the end of
really
it,
made your point there.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they did it. Yahoo! I really was really rooting for
it. Just
them.
revels in.
There was another subplot where Martin Lawrence is gonna leave or transfer, and they talked about that, but like you don't really.
Oh
care.
Yeah, he was supposed to do that. Oh, I guess he's
I guess
he's not doing that anymore. Yeah. He's like, no man, I'm gonna transform. I'm gonna get a new partner.
Fuck you.
He didn't do that.
Yeah, no one like thought that he was going to. Like. Like the plot was so paper thin.
Then we
like
couldn't have the third movie 50 years later.
Exactly. I mean, like there's no like.
Yeah. Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, that's what's surprising. That this new one, just to touch on the new one that's coming out soon, it came out 16 years after this movie.
So would you guys, overall, how many stars would you give? How many stars?
We don't rate on stars. We rate out of fucking 4.
How many?
4 stars.
How many numbers out of 4? How many stars out of 4 would you give the Hitch Big Mama's House crossover?
10.
That. Fuck you, Sarah. 10 out of 4.
10 out of 4.
Sarah,
for the crossover only, specifically.
Since they exist in the same universe, of course. They realistically could exist in the same universe. Who knows?
Wait, does that mean there's 2 Will Smiths?
You're talking about Bad Boys exist in the same universe as Big Mama's House and Hitch?
Big Mama's House.
So there's 2 Martin Lawrences and 2 Will Smiths.
Yeah, but they're not. That's not their names.
Actually, I like to think.
But they're the same people.
Does anyone remember Martin Lawrence's character's name from Big Mama's House?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
Guy pretending to be Big Mama and sexually harassed
guy in fat suit.
Isn't it just Medea?
Granddaughter?
No, it's a different movie.
Movie.
Medea is horrifyingly Tyler Perry making that a character.
Here's the thing. Big Mama's House is a solo outing with sequels.
Okay.
Medea is a part of an extended and ever-growing powerful universe.
I think they finished it, actually. Tyler Perry killed off
it's like the Marvel
Tyler
Cinematic
Perry killed
Universe.
Medea, he did the world
yeah,
a favor.
he said he was, he said he was tired of doing it because he didn't want to be old and dressing up like Medea, so...
Oh, so he did the world a favor and killed off the worst thing ever?
But it was like an extended universe of everything. Like, there's different relatives.
There really didn't need to be a cinematic universe for that, but, I'm glad we live in a day and age where somebody could fucking do that. Just make a cinematic universe off of an old black woman.
You can do a
for
whole
no reason.
case study on Medea.
I'm not even trying to sound mean about that, but why is that a cinematic universe?
Why not?
Why not?
You know what? Let's start a cinematic universe right now. We'll make it all about Lung and his mom.
Okay.
I thought
I feel like I would watch that.
I'd be a part of that.
Like
I wouldn't even have to watch it.
Your mom would just pinch your cheeks all day and talk about how cute you are.
What kind of weird shit are you talking about?
The cinematic universe we're creating.
Why is his mom doing that? That's like a grandmother-aunt thing. Why is his mom pinching his cheeks?
Are my mom and my grandma the same character? They might as well be. We had to skip out on the budgeting, so I only have. So my mom and my grandma are the same person. But I suppose I would rate this movie 1 out of 4, and I think I'm being very generous. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but I think it's a 1 out of 4.
Jesus Christ.
Really, I think I gave it a few more points than it deserved, but I'm going to say 1 out of 4.
Give it more points than it deserved. Can we give movies a 0, or we're just doing low as the 1 is the lowest one?
Can you do negative numbers?
I would say
okay. one is for it still being worth our time.
Okay.
So you can give it a 0 if you'd like. If you really don't think this thing's worth anybody's time.
You can give it negative numbers too.
That's
Why
what I was
not?
asking.
Yeah, fucking -4. If Sarah's giving it a 10 out of 4. I'm giving it a -5.
Giving it a 10 out of 4.
Yeah, you are. You already said it.
10 rainbows and unicorns out of 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, only for the crossover. We were asking you to rate the movie.
Oh, you want me to rate the movie? I'll rate the movie.
Rate it right now. Honest rating.
5 out of 4.
Don't be a decimal fucking person.
Fine. Half out of 4. Half of 1.
That's so... Oh my god. Wow, I did a fraction instead of a decimal. I'm sorry.
Can I do a fraction? Am I allowed to do a fraction?
You can do a fraction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
0.5.
I'll be the referee here.
Half.
Oh my god!
Because look, I don't want to give it a 0.
1 half.
I don't think that's fair to the movie. But I don't want to give it a 1 because it's not worth my time.
You know what's not fair to the movie? I don't give a shit. You know what's not fair to me? It was fucking 2.5 hours long.
Exactly.
It was all over the place. Just fucking... Somebody decided to let the necrophiliac write for a scene, clearly, with that fucking dead titties.
Really, really upset by that.
The editing also is this, from this really annoying, all the movies did this around this time with this fucking,
I'm gonna make some nachos after this.
I don't care.
Fuck yeah.
Make fucking nachos.
I'll have some nachos.
You don't get any nachos.
Alright,
man,
it's a 0 out of 4.
Come
Fuck
on.
it. I just hate the editing, and it was this from this shitty time when we just decided, fuck, because we have computers now and they're good at editing movies. Let's just edit like 300 jump cuts in the span of, what would you say earlier, Lung? 15 nanoseconds?
Yeah,
15 nanoseconds.
roughly.
Let's do that with our editing.
My human mind can't
Let's
really
do that.
count like that fast. Like, I can't really process things in 15 nanoseconds. So
I'm tearing out my hair after
process
this.
this movie.
I'm tearing out my hair after this. I give it fucking 0 out of 4.
What do you think, Dylan? Like, probably like a 4 out of 4.
Yeah,
You, for whatever reason, you seem to like movies way more than we do. I don't really get that.
Why are you so, like, critical and then not critical at the same fucking time? It's annoying. Give me your fucking
like
rating.
you'll have like the same opinions of the movie. I think it's bad.
What are you, IGN? Give me your fucking rating also.
Yeah, I only gave it a half because of the length. I would have given it a 1, but it's
a lot of
2.5 hours long.
What's the rating?
I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 4.
Okay.
Thank God! Somebody has some reason.
I'll do that.
For once.
I'll do that. I was gonna give it a 1.5. But
See, we could do halves.
We already established this.
I know.
I was gonna do a 1.5, but I feel like this movie is extremely unpleasant.
Yes.
And
yes.
That is the understatement of the year.
I don't
It's definitely
know.
like an adolescent male-targeted movie. What do you guys think?
High in testosterone.
Very high.
See, actually, I thought it was
I don't
more
think
so
any
catered to
adolescent.
preschoolers.
I don't think
Of course.
working in a school environment. I'm not quite sure that any adolescents should be watching this because it's really
when I
messed
say
up.
adolescent, I mean like 15 to 17. They're like older, not like 13.
Glad you were specifying the age on that.
Okay.
Was this
But I'm
R?
only
This
17.
was R, right?
This is definitely R.
Yeah.
There's no way they would
If
be able
this-
to
So
show dead
17.
titties in
No,
a PG-13 film.
And they said the F
Rated
word so
PG.
many times.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They definitely went over the limit there.
If it was
Yeah,
NC
like
17,
racial
it'd
jokes
be
they
18
made.
and
That's
up.
not NC-17.
So yeah, be 17 and up, I would say.
Yeah. If you... I would say this is definitely targeted towards younger
Targeted?
Yeah.
men. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. So what's the average? We all gave it a 1 out of 4. What'd you give it?
I give it a 0.
You're talking over me. He's asking me a question, man. So I gave it a 1. No, excuse me. I gave it a half, like 0.5 out of 4.
Oh, this decimal
Let's see.
bullshit, I swear to God.
So I gave it a 1.5.
It averages out to 1, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 0.
It's the number 1 movie.
I would have given it a 1, but the length was too long. The explosions were a bit much for me, and the constant upskirts shots I didn't really appreciate.
Very triggering to women.
It wasn't triggering. I was just like, come on, really?
Unnecessary, yeah.
You don't really need that.
As a woman, I was offended by them too.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Dude, they can only hear your voice. They might actually think that,
Oh no! The joke is ruined.
Yeah. All right.
Alright.
Is that all we
Yeah.
have to say about this national tragedy?
Yeah. Fortunately, this is all that needs to be said. So, good night, everyone. We'll see you next week for our next installment.
Yeah, we're gonna start Christmas movies. Long, you excited?
Oh, I'm super excited. I'm wearing my little Santa hat. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Are you
Do you actually have a little Santa hat?
I do.
Aw.
Please
I'm
tell
gonna
me.
go buy one.
I'm gonna wear an ugly sweater. That's what that's what I've decided to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.